Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklarbro Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pods,
aka two guys, no disguise,
aka two jokesters making fun of the hoaxsters,
aka one Salmon Couchy, two fans of Fauci,
aka two Jews, no Harmon Killebrews,
aka two Jews, no Rod Carews. We are here. We are excited to talk to you.
I was looking through some more, but I couldn't find
they're hard to find. We are guest hosting Jim Rome's radio show,
aka Sklar for Life. We're guest hosting the radio show and the TV show tomorrow. Look at me, I'm kind
Is
of
it
dressed
tomorrow or
right.
today?
It's today as this is happening. I'm sorry,
As this is
dropped.
dropping.
So 9 to noon on the West Coast, 12 to 3 whenever you listen to this podcast. Maybe it shoots you right over to that. So on CBS Sports Net, on TV, and CBS Sports Radio, wherever that is in your town. Great stuff. Rex Chapman's going to be on that show. John Jansen's going to be on that show.
Gar Ryness. Christoph Waltz is going to talk about the bubble in
Getting
NBA.
deep in talk with the NBA, so it's going to be a blast. We are so happy that you've joined us, and we really appreciate everybody who joins us here. Check out the little clips we're putting on Instagram and on TikTok at Sklar Brothers. Let's jump into a story right now.
Yes.
You know, Jay, the phrase "pride before the fall."
Pride comes before the fall.
Yeah, it's all about the hubris we have before the rug gets ripped out from under us and we come crashing down.
The more prideful you are, the bigger the fall when the hammer drops.
Yeah, so if you are a prideful jerk off, it's going to be fun to watch you go down.
Yeah, people are going to relish in your fall.
We'll be happy to wave at you on your way down as you're heading down.
We'll do a story about you.
And then check the expression on your face as you are
tumbling
in disbelief that the world has come crashing down around you.
Correct. It's like we'll watch you drop into the sinkhole of your own making.
Well, we have a new phrase around here.
Yes.
That it's pride before the Falwell.
There you go.
Well, of course, talking about Jerry Falwell Jr., he's a terrible dumb shit of a human
Done a lot
being.
of horrible things. I guess he's at Liberty University.
President and Chancellor of Liberty University.
He's both?
Where basically the hurtful, harmful stuff that he spews out of his mouth actually has helped him to be successful there.
Right.
It's
Wasn't there a Jerry Falwell Sr.?
There was, and he was
also
awful.
shitty, and now his son's trying to outdo that.
He tried to step outside of his dad's shitty shadow just so he could get his own darkened corner of the world, and he did it.
So it's not really a school, by the way. It's
It is
like
a
a
right-wing
right-wing propaganda factory. That's
it.
all it is, and that's fine, I guess, if that's what you're into. But
Well, Junior stepped in at this time, and the fall,
worth
it's
enjoying.
The fall is well worth enjoying,
There you
Jerry
go.
Falwell Jr. President Chancellor of Liberty University has agreed to take an indefinite leave. He's agreed to it.
All right, when he himself is leaving before the hammer actually falls, you know he's done some bad stuff.
Right. From the evangelical. Because guys like that fight it. And then we'll gaslight everybody else and be like, you're wrong.
Right.
So
They dig in on their stance.
Right.
Those aren't the kind of guys that back away unless it's really
bad.
incriminating.
So whatever he did was terrible.
Yeah.
And there's no way for even him to spin it in a way that allows him to stick around.
Correct.
So this means, it is bad if he's stepping down. The leave of absence is effective immediately, the statement said. The school's the school's executive committee of the Board of Trustees made the request of Falwell. The board did not provide a reason for his statement. Of course they didn't.
Of course they didn't. Because then if they give that reason, then they're going to have to give all the reasons for the other things that they've done. Well, if you're explaining this, then why did he do this?
Why did we allow him to do this? If we busted him on this,
why are we bringing up the
bad.
rug? Why do we need to know what's underneath the rug on this one? That's what they're saying.
Apparently, Falwell and his wife, Becky with an I, of course.
That's a woman who never doesn't wear rolled up jean shorts.
Right. Here are the things that Becky has eaten 3 Tide Pods, by the way, in her life.
Yes.
And has eaten a Gainsburger, one of her dogs,
Hamburgers,
just
to see how it
to
tastes.
see what it tastes like.
Right.
Becky with an I. Here's the laundry list of some bad things that they've done while in power at Liberty University. Okay.
Yeah.
They consolidated power at Liberty University, and Falwell presided over a culture of self-dealing, directing university resources into projects and real estate deals in which his friends and family have stood to make personal financial gains.
Nothing shady about that.
Nothing at all. Among the previously unreported revelations from the Book of Revelations.
That's right.
Are Falwell's decisions to hire his son Trey's company.
This is
to
from the Book of Dirty John 3:16.
So to manage a shopping center owned by the university. Falwell's advocacy for loans given by the university to his friends and family, and Falwell's awarding of university contracts to business owned by his friends. So he's
a bad dude who's done a lot of bad things.
And everyone gives him a pass.
Yeah, all those other times he didn't step down indefinitely. This time he's doing it.
So you know what he did now is way worse than that. Falwell, no stranger to controversy, has come under fire in recent days after posting a picture on Instagram, you ready for this? That depicted him with his pants unzipped and his midsection visible to the camera. In the photo, Falwell is seen holding a cup of dark wine-like liquid.
It's wine.
Did he change it from water into the dark wine?
Yeah, it started as water and changed into wine.
Whatever box it came from, it's a dark wine-like liquid with one arm around a woman whose shorts are also unzipped. Whoops.
No. Is that your wife? It's not his wife.
Why would you post that on Instagram?
Yeah, why?
Maybe he thought it was Snapchat. He's an old guy. He's not an old guy, but he certainly isn't a young dude. Maybe he wasn't thinking at all. Did you ever think of that?
So basically how he normally operates.
Yes.
Not thinking at all, assuming there are going to be zero consequences for his actions, yada, yada, yada.
But the best is Falwell's explanation
Of
for
course.
why he was photographed with his pants unzipped and his stomach out, and another woman who's not his wife, her pants unzipped, and
Arm around her tight.
Yeah. He basically, it's hard to hear him because when he's digging a hole for himself.
He's down near the center of the earth.
He needs a megaphone. In a radio interview with WLNI, Falwell explained that this woman was his wife's assistant. They were at a costume party, and it was just in good fun, quote, he added. First of all, who's having a costume party now?
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, this is a recent pic. Who is at parties right now, let alone
fun.
costume parties right now?
It's just good fun. They're masquerading as good Christians.
You know the good old fun you have with your wife's assistant.
When you unzip your pants and you pose for a photo with your arm around her waist?
And her pants are unzipped too.
Totally.
By the way, you know this is the first time his wife has heard any of this.
Of course.
She's learning about it like we are.
On the radio. She's learning about it on the radio.
It was good fun.
It was good fun. By the way, it was good fun is not an apology.
No.
That's an explanation.
There's a guy who thinks he can get away with anything.
It's a justification.
Anybody who unzips his pants and his wife's assistant, her pants are unzipped, and then you take a photograph of that and post it on your own.
For some reason, post it on your own social media.
You think you can get away with anything.
Right.
Quote, it was weird because she's pregnant, so she can't get her shorts up. What? She's pregnant.
What are you talking about?
Why are you with a pregnant woman and both of your pants are unzipped? Her shorts couldn't get up, and I was like trying to like stop.
Just stop.
Stop, dummy. Stop talking. Stop explaining.
Stop being.
You asked a pregnant woman to take her shorts off. You fooled around with a pregnant woman. That's what I'm assuming.
I mean, we don't know that for a fact.
It
certainly looks like that.
While you're married. Now, I'm not an evangelical, Jay.
Not anymore.
But it feels like this might be against the Bible.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like what Jesus would necessarily do.
I have a pair of jeans that I haven't worn in a long time, he continues to explain. So I couldn't get mine zipped up either. Who cares?
Wait.
So I just put my belly out like hers. Wait, so you haven't worn them in a long time.
So that's why you wore them to a costume party?
So you did just wear them. Yeah. You are wearing them right now.
And you couldn't get them zipped, so they weren't zipped all night?
Right. So you were just looking for someone to have an unzip party with. Like, I don't understand. You stuck your belly out in
I'm literally trying to give
solidarity.
I'm trying to find a way that this could be true, and I am not finding a path to truth.
Why is she pulling her shorts down, and why are you pulling your pants down in front of her to show you that you couldn't unzip the thing? I just don't get it. A stupid 8-year-old would come up with a better, more bulletproof explanation.
And so you were, showing her that you have a pregnant-like belly yourself? What?
And by the way, I'm sure she was totally okay with it. Your wife's assistant, the woman who works for your wife. You're the spouse of her boss,
right,
and you're telling her to take her pants down. She's cool with that.
This is like the definition of Me Too.
Right. She wouldn't,
unless she's in on it, which I don't know, but if she is, then you both got. You both got caught.
Showed her your pregnant...
You both got caught with your pants down.
Literally. So you showed her your pregnant-like belly, you fat dipshit, and then what? You decide to photograph it.
And then post that photograph on your own Instagram feed?
The second her shorts started to get unbuttoned, you got to be like, I'm out of here.
Goodbye.
I'm out of here. I can't be a party to this. You're pregnant.
And then
you're my wife's assistant.
And then you photograph it.
Right.
And then you put it on Instagram.
Right.
What? What process?
First of all, Snapchat, dummy, because that goes away.
But
don't
it doesn't,
do it.
because people screen grab that stuff. You should never put it up and embarrass this woman.
That's what he said. I should never put up and embarrassed her.
You should never embarrass yourself.
Wait. Him saying I should never have put it up and embarrassed her, that's the thing you're apologizing for, that you put it up on Instagram?
No.
How about the fact that
I shouldn't have done it.
Right.
You shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have put this person in this position. Or if that's what you guys were wanting to do, then you still shouldn't have done it.
That's right.
And here we are in this situation again, where a guy who's apologizing by not actually apologizing.
He's not apologizing.
He's just saying words. This is the hollow apology of the person who's like, ooh, I better say something so that I can move on and get past this.
Make it sound kind of like an apology. That's like going to the drive-thru at Starbucks, and instead of giving you extra whip on your venti hazelnut frap, they just jerk off into your cup holder.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Wait, what?
then they film it, and then they apologize for posting that online.
Yeah, sorry I posted that.
He said, I've apologized to everybody, and I promised my kids I'm going to try and be a good boy from here on out.
That made it worse. You just somehow made that worse.
Saying you'll be a good boy is your way of not taking this seriously at all. By the way, it's also weird. You're a good boy, so you were a bad boy.
It's like he's sexualizing the apology.
Which
is that a class you teach at Liberty University, sexualizing apologies?
How to Survive Me 201. There you go. How to siphon money from your company and give it to your friends. These are all classes you can take at Liberty.
It sounds like a great college.
Representative Mark Walker, a Republican from North Carolina and a member of Liberty University's advisory board, called Thursday on Falwell to resign, calling his ongoing behavior appalling. Well, where the hell were you before when he's siphoning off projects to his friends and his
now
family?
Suddenly you're speaking up.
I love that this is your final straw. This
is the thing that he
Thank you for speaking up, but where the hell were you, Mark? Like I love that you've put up with so much. You know who this guy is. You understand who he is, and now you're going to actually step. This is the thing. This is when you kind of wish that evangelicals believed in abortions, so that Jerry Sr. could have like followed his heart years ago and just been like, look, I'm going to save us a lot of problems in the future.
This guy's a mistake.
We don't need a junior around. Quote, I just think there's a code, this is what Mark said, that leaders have to live by, especially when you're leading the largest Christian evangelical university in the country. Walker told CNN, there's a code that the biggest asshole you know in your life follows. That is more than what this guy follows.
Right. That's right.
That code says never pull your pants down in front of your wife's pregnant assistant while she has her pants down.
Even the guy who spit in the face of the kid at Ricky T's, even he's like, ooh, this is bad.
This is bad. I wouldn't do that.
This is not. And you know what I can't wait to see, Rand? Yeah. I can't wait to see how Falwell Jr. blames the liberals on this one.
Or the devil.
Or Joe Biden.
Yeah. How did Joe Biden make you do this, huh? What messages were subliminal messages were the mainstream media just feeding you?
How did the Black Lives Matter movement get you to unzip your pants in front of your wife's pregnant assistant?
You know this guy sucks when Republicans from North Carolina are calling him out. Yep, that's bad. Yep. Bye, bitch. You can leave your pants unzipped too, because if you go to jail, they're coming off anyway.
That's right.
They're coming off anyway, and it doesn't matter who's pregnant in there.
It's a whole different kind of Hail Mary in there.
You better bend over and pray. Grab your toes and pray, buddy.
Kneel down, bro.
All right, that's our first story. Pride before the Falwell. When we come back, listen, we like to celebrate first responders as much as anybody.
But I think we are ready to wait before we throw a huge party.
There's
in a bar.
Time and a place for it. And this next story tells you about the wrong time and the wrong place and the wrong action. We'll be right back with more View from the Cheap Seats. Nope. Sklarbro Country the Virus Edition.
Right
Stay
after
with
this.
us.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Want to remind people a couple things. One, our live Dumb People Town at Nowhere Comedy Club is sold out for this weekend on August 15th with Jim Gaffigan. We are working on a guest and an amazing lineup for our next date for live Dumb People Town, which is Saturday night, September 26th. Mark it on your calendar. If you got shut out this time, we are sorry, but now you can get ahead.
Get a chance, get your tickets, because that one's going to sell out too. If we get who I think we're going to get, if we get the confirmation this week and then do it with a musical guest, going to be great. So watch out for that. We'll let you know when that's going to be. And let's jump into this next story, shall we?
Okay.
Listen, like we said before the break, we appreciate anybody who is
I can't thank first responders enough. I can't thank nurses
I want
and
to
people on the front
celebrate
lines.
them for what they've done.
I want to throw them a parade.
But not now. Let's do it like
Let's wait.
a year from next September.
We don't have to rush to get at. It's like when Neil Young came out and did that song about Katrina.
Like 3 days after Katrina
like,
happened.
Hey, man.
Hey, workshop it, man.
We can hear this 3 months from now. The
We love
damage
you.
is still going to be done. The
Yeah,
needle and the damage will be
still
done.
be done.
Let's do this like 4 months
I'm
from
sure
now.
you could sift through a number of your songs and find one that thematically applies.
Right. And then in the next 4 or 5 months.
Write your Katrina song.
I mean, I've listened to Bruce Springsteen, The Rising.
Yeah.
That is such a good song.
Amazing.
And that is such a weirdly uplifting. Like, if you give yourself time, there's a chance for you to find out other emotions that pop up and to support it in a different way. In other words, don't throw the party before you can.
Don't throw the party now, and certainly don't throw the party indoors. All right, this is a story that you guys are not going to believe. At least one of the people attending a party at a bar in Los Angeles last week was not wearing, this is the party, was not wearing a mask.
Okay.
At least one of those people where there was no social
Nobody was wearing a
distancing,
mask and there was no social distancing. Inside a bar, at least one of those people was a cop.
not a Los Angeles police officer. CNN was reporting. Why is anyone in a bar right now? Especially police officers. We need you to be healthy.
And not socially distance. And grab a socially distanced beer in your backyard with your buddies.
That's it.
Do
We're going to
that.
say this, man. Beer truck like the ice cream truck.
That's it. I've pushed for it before. It's
Beer
the
truck comes down.
adult ice cream,
Ice cream
adult slushies. Everything's like a frozen margarita.
Yes.
It comes tracking down the. It's playing a White Snake song.
Yeah. Do.
Parents washing the dishes look up. They hear it. The daddy,
out.
mommy ice cream truck's coming down the road. You run out into the street. You
I
grab
want a margarita. I want a daiquiri.
You all get a daiquiri.
I want a white Russian.
Everyone put your lawn chair in the front of your house.
wait
in
for
your yard.
wait for the alcohol truck to come through. All right? Everybody does it at a distance. We're all having fun.
We can do that.
The gathering sparked an investigation about the LAPD of public health, and the LAPD said the department is now attempting to identify the LAPD employees who may have been in attendance. Listen, snitches get stitches. That's the plan. So
I doubt.
who's going to speak up about this? The LAPD officer, who a source identified to CNN as a current LAPD officer of the Southwest Division, spoke to CNN on the night of the party. The officer defended the gathering Friday night, saying,
course.
and I'm assuming he was drunk as he was talking.
Oh yeah, he was drunk.
Everybody is either
Okay, sir.
family or working
I'm
in
right
the
next
same
to you.
place.
I'm
So
right next to you. I can-
That's why we don't have COVID concerns. They micro group or whatever with each other, and everyone's been tested and everything, and that's why we all know that everyone in there is cool.
That's why we all know that everyone in there is cool.
So you're in a pod.
okay,
You're like the NBA. Is that what's happening right
yeah,
now?
but you never want to hear a cop say everyone in there is cool.
Right.
Like that's what you say to the cops.
So everyone was-
hey man, everyone in
Everyone's
there is cool.
And, the,
So-
and the cops never believe you.
And the cops are like, yeah, we're still going to take a look.
Right.
That's what a cop would say.
Every-
when a cop is suddenly saying, hey, everyone in there is cool.
You
man.
know there's some bad shit going on in there.
Horrible
And
stuff.
So you're saying everyone was tested right before you went rapid
No,
response?
they were micro grouped, Randy.
Oh.
They were micro
I
grouped.
thought a micro group just owns a micro brewery or a
Right.
series of them. As first responders, it's not like you're out there interfacing with people on the front lines. I mean,
No, wait.
putting yourself in harm's way and other people too now that you're hanging out. You know that doctors and nurses who are geared up to the hilt
They are dying and they are practicing the safest social distancing.
They're getting
that they
COVID
can.
and they're dying. So hanging out in a bar with everybody, no
But yeah,
masks.
we'll take your word for it. Everyone in
Everyone's
there is cool.
Yeah, you don't sound like you're trying to shoo anyone away at all. Everything's cool.
Right.
She started to ask questions like, "Hey, what's going on?" All right, everything's cool.
It's cool. You can
It's like,
go
no
away.
one asked you the question. And then the person said, "If you're so concerned, why don't you call the police?" But what are you?
You are the
7
police.
years old?
But
Come on,
you are
man.
the police. And to me, when someone says, if you're so concerned, call the police, that's like code for, if you hang around here much longer, I'm going to jack you in the
You
face.
gonna get hit.
gonna get
you
hit.
gonna get hit. CNN not naming the officer because they fear for their lives, as identifying his image also may impact his safety as a police officer. Inside the bar, dozens of people were plainly visible through the bar's windows. From the sidewalk Friday night, drinking cocktails under flashing lights to club music that was so loud it was rattling the security bars.
Oh.
Inside the bar. There should be no inside of a bar right now. There should be no sentence uttered by anyone saying, and then inside the bar, this was going on. That's no one
Let
should be
alone
inside the
fill
bar.
it with people who are supposedly trying to protect us from the pandemic and protect us out there in the field.
Restaurants have done a cool pivot. I don't know if you've seen them recently. They're doing it in LA where they're using their parking lot to tent it, put tables out there, especially at night where it's a little bit cooler. That's people can go out and at a distance with masks on, and then you can sit at your table and be far away from people outside where there's breeze and you're not indoors. I have to give restaurants credit because they're figuring out a way to keep things, they're pivoting in a way that keeps things going.
Yes.
Why can't this bar have something happen outside in their parking lot and just CNN was tipped off to the event by a source with direct knowledge of the party who was told it would involve 100 to 150 law enforcement personnel at the Sassafras Saloon.
Sassafras Saloon, nothing good happens at the Sassafras Saloon.
Sassafras Saloon has been the place where many divorces have started.
And ended, probably at the Sassafras. Sassafras Saloon sounds like a cop bar from the movie Copland.
It also sounds like a place where everyone's like, whatever happens at Sassafras stays at Sassafras. Whatever happens over at the pinball machine at Sassafras, keep your mouth shut. Whatever happens in the bathroom at Sassafras.
It's like a cone of silence.
It's like, Sassafras, don't have a whatever happens at the Sassafras. You bring the sass, we'll bring the frass type of an attitude. I don't want to hear that. Attendees entered through the back door where a small desk with a candle greeted them outside. Yeah.
Because they knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
You knew it was wrong. So if you...
Otherwise, you go in through the front door, but you don't go in through a door right now because we're not supposed to be inside at a bar.
To be inside anywhere, and you knew it. That's why
You're
you put
cops.
it at the back door.
You understand this. They're out giving tickets to people in West Hollywood for $300 for not wearing masks, for going into bars. You know that this is wrong. Look. The owners of the Sassafras Saloon rented the bar out to someone who wanted to honor the group of first responders. Again, bake them a cake. Put weed in it. I don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Throw them a party in the street.
Don't rent out an indoor space for them to be. They're first responders. It sounds like they want to hurt these first responders, right?
It's violence.
Let's get them. Let's throw a party indoors.
Let's get them all inside.
According to Lisa Strangis, a spokeswoman for the 1933 Group, which owns the bar on North Vine Street, the 1933 Group.
What the hell is the 1933 Group?
Who names their group after one of the worst years in American history during the Great Depression?
I guess that's the 1930, or also the time when Hitler rose to power.
So here's what's going on. Great Depression in America, Nazism is rising. Why don't you call yourself the 2020 Group? Nobody's going to do that because we know what a shit show 2020 is.
The COVID company.
Who names their group that anyway? We plan on losing a lot of money. I mean, we are the 1933 Group.
If you want to talk depression, you come to the 1933 Group.
While Strangis said she was unwilling to name which agency the first responders belonged to, she said the renters paid for the space that the 1933 Group employees worked at the event. So they could have stopped it.
They easily could have stopped it.
Strangis denied that 100 people were in there Friday night, but declined to provide the number of people that were there. So
not 100. It was not 100.
It's 98.
95 through 98 maybe, but I'm not going to say.
In a statement, the owners of the 1933 Group later added that they unequivocally do not condone this behavior and have no intention of agreeing to additional private events, charitable or otherwise, until the state allows it. So I don't understand what the 1933
They want to
Group
get this
stand.
party in, and now they're like,
we're against this party that we just threw and
look, this party obviously is going to go off.
These types of parties that we just threw and we just worked can't go on.
We will not tolerate parties like the one we just okayed to happen.
The LAPD officer who spoke to CNN Friday night said everything at the party indoors at a bar with first responders was safe despite the lack of masks or social distancing.
Sure.
So it wasn't safe.
Those are the two things you need: social distancing and masks. And you also need it to not be indoors.
So it was not safe at all is what you're saying. Not wearing masks or social distancing, that's not being safe at all. Here's the quote. You ready? You know how when you're at an office and everyone gets tested and everyone knows you're good? That's why none of us are worried about it, said the officer.
No, we don't know how.
We don't know that.
No one's at an office.
No one's at an office right now. Everyone's working from home, and nobody is going to office parties.
Are they rapid testing you before you walk into the bar that night, and then you get the results, and then you're allowed to go in?
People are doing office parties on Zoom. You want to have an office party on Zoom? Someone's going to take their shirt off. They do it already in like
they're
regular
get drunk.
meetings.
They're going to forget they're on the Zoom, and then you'll get to see a show.
Everybody's spaced in there. Everybody's wearing things. Everybody's getting temperature checks. Wearing things?
Yes.
Wearing things. What? Masks? They're not wearing masks. Pants?
Everybody's spaced in there.
Shirts? They're wearing things? I don't understand. That's way too nondescript of a thing. Again, this explanation raises more questions than it answers.
Yeah.
Everything is in space in there, and no one is wearing things. We're trying to identify the LAPD employees who have been in attendance. The chief of police have made his expressions.
Translation of that is, we're not looking for anyone.
Yeah,
we're trying to find. It's not that hard.
I'm sure this is
go to CNN and be like, "Who'd you talk to?"
That guy.
Show us
one.
Show us the footage, and we'll tell you who it was.
I'm
then
sure
we'll talk to that guy, and we'll find out who else is there if he wants to keep his job.
That's at the top of their list of things that they want to try and do is get that thing sorted out. Right? That's not the top of the. If cops can't figure out or crack down on cops who kill people with no good reason, they're not going to stop this thing.
And
right?
let me tell you something. If cops are going to a bar, not socially distancing, and in an indoor space, not wearing masks, they're going to kill people for no reason.
Yeah.
They're going to unintentionally, if it gets passed along, kill people for no reason.
Look, an investigation is going to happen. This is a bad look for anyone, let alone cops and first responders. Maybe, at the very least, if an investigation happens, we can all find out what it is that the 1933 group does.
I still don't know what it is.
We got to get something out of this investigation.
It's depressing that we don't know what they do.
And that's right.
It's the Great Depression.
That is the greatest depression of all. All right, that's a show, you guys. So nice to do this for you. We are happy to do this on a regular basis. Got great stories for you the rest of the week. Stick with us. Watch this. Tell people about it. This is not
Rate
a
it
hoax.
Rate it and review this podcast.
This
that helps.
is not a hoax, though. We got the jokes. Wear a mask. Stay protected. Stay connected. Don't get infected. We'll see you tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da.